In this video, we'll be covering some of the advanced functionality involved with execution plans. This video assumes you know the basics of execution plans and are seeking to extend your knowledge. Triggers, as well as the basics of conditions and actions, should be understood before watching this video. Starting with the triggers, I'll add comment created, as that is the event I want to trigger this plan. Below the triggers is an area you may already be familiar with. Here is where we can edit the conditions and actions for the plan. I'll start by adding a condition. This will automatically create an execution block. An execution block is either an action or actions without any condition, or a condition connected to an action or actions. Don't worry if that sounds confusing. We'll be going through the motions in this video to help break down exactly how they work. We'll use the compare values condition. This can be used with any text or number field available in your project. Compare values allows you to require a specific comparison operation to be true in order for any associated action or actions to be executed. For our example, I'll require the first field to be either greater than or equal to the second field. We'll add a formula I created earlier, and voila, we have our first execution block. We won't end things here, however. What if I want another action to be considered if the first compare condition wasn't met? This is where I'll need to add a new execution block. The condition of the second execution block will be checked separately after the first execution block's condition is checked and the condition is not met. I'll add the condition and actions I spoke about, and I'm done. Just like that, my execution plan now has two execution blocks to consider. What if I wanted to add a new execution block that would be checked by the plan independently of the first two execution blocks? An easy way to separate out execution blocks is by creating a new execution group. Execution groups are an execution block or blocks that an execution plan checks the conditions of from top to bottom. Once one of the blocks in the group either is a lone action, has its conditions met, or is the last block in a group, the plan moves on to the next group, if one exists. Otherwise, it ends. Once you've clicked the Add Group button, we can move on to adding the first action in this new execution group. The sole purpose of this action will be to verify for us that the execution group has been triggered, as we'll be triggering the execution group several times in this video. I'll have it edit the issue field results to verify that this execution has been triggered. Essentially, this is an action that is conditionless. Once I've saved the execution plan, I can head back to my project and view a subtask that I created earlier. Looking at the subtask, I can see that the cost and budget field should meet the compare condition I specified earlier in the execution plan. Once I leave a comment on this subtask, I'll be able to see that the execution plan triggered from the edit value that was changed. Heading up to the parent task, I can see that the subtask did indeed roll up. Here at the main task, I'll leave a comment as well. Once this comment has been left, I can see that the execution plan has triggered on this task, this time following the condition of the issue type equals task that I set up earlier in the execution plan. The pay has been calculated, and the edit field has been changed to reflect that the execution plan has indeed been triggered. A link to the previous video in this series covering the basics of Abacus can be found in the description, as well as a link to documentation covering additional Abacus functionality. Thank you for watching, and enjoy calculating your JIRA.